course I was disappointed that I didn't win because I put the work in to get the result of being victorious. Of course, a piece of me was disappointed, but it was a competition. I whooped a ton of dudes. And then just because I wasn't victorious in that moment, it was like everyone was like, they couldn't believe it. Oh no, he's faking it. He's faking it. Why is he not crying? Why is he not down? Because he was winning that whole fight, and then that moment it happened. I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry about it.
Most people who are not does not have the competitive spirit, they don't believe if they lose everything. Like for me, myself, I'm not wishing bad stuff for me. If I lost everything tomorrow, I'll get it back again. Because I had it 4 or 5 times before. You know, I've been broken rich more than anybody I know. But it's all about not giving up. Here we go with another episode of Hotboxing. I'm Mike Tyson.
I'm Sabastian Joseph Dane. We're here with Kamaru Usman, a.k.a. the Nigerian Nightmare.
Kamaru.
You see how they put the full government out. You know, most people don't know that.
How you doing, my man?
I'm good. I'm wonderful. It's a pleasure to be here again. Uncle Mike.
Thank you, brother. I seen you hanging out with the pretty actress. Come on, the beautiful African actress.
I'm Miss Michaela Cole, and Lupita at the fights. Miss Michaela Cole, that's like my sister. Amazing writer, producer, director,
you guys look
actress.
Beautiful together.
We do. That's my sister.
Family chemistry, guys.
That boy Mike trying to hook you up.
He's already connected, man. Hook up.
No. She's an amazing individual. We actually met on the set of Black Panther.
Yeah.
So while we're filming that, I met some amazing actors and actresses on that set. But we just like
this beautiful black
click.
People.
Yeah,
I saw this young lady. I was in Kansas City, Missouri, I guess for the 420 Fest. And I got off the elevator and I seen this beautiful. She was from where Idi Amin was from. Where is he from?
Is it I'm drawing a blank. Can't put me on the spot, Mike. I'm drawing a blank.
You're African too.
Yeah, I know. It makes I'm looking bad right now.
Uganda.
Yeah.
She was as black as this wall, but so beautiful.
Yeah.
Her black, beautiful skin is shine. I said, wow.
Oh, yeah.
This looks so, they're special. I know when those slavers went over there and saw them, they would say, whoa.
Black is beautiful.
Yeah,
we need
they
that.
said black is beautiful.
Black is beautiful.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why they you know what, let's go ahead and take some of them with them.
You know, serious.
Let's take some back home.
The guy that made the song Amazing Grace, he was a slaver.
Really?
Then he got turned out with God and he stopped and he created that song.
Wow. I wonder if he's still receiving royalties from that song.
No, he's dead. He's dead 200, 300 years.
His family though? His family
Well,
maybe?
his
Family?
Yeah, I bet you didn't give them shit.
No.
Somebody stole the rights. Somebody stole the rights 200 years ago.
That's how it be.
Mike, have you ever seen the show Drink Champs?
Drink Champs. I've been on Drink Champs.
Isn't it so fire? It has all the hip hop artists and popular people on that show. It's fire.
Everybody's getting so plastered on that show.
How fucked up did you get on the show?
I don't drink, but I noticed that I was among drunk people.
You didn't smoke at all?
I believe I must have smoked. I must have. I don't remember, but I just know I was uncomfortable around a bunch of drunk heathens. Get ready to raise a glass and turn up the volume because Drink Champs is back.
Join legendary Queens rapper Nori and DJ EFN as they drink, laugh, and chat with some of the biggest names in the rap game and pop culture.
They have some of the most legendary guests like Derek Jeter, A$AP Rocky, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kevin Hart. Drink Champs has it all.
Listen in to a night of boozy conversations and boisterous storytelling. They focus on looking back on their success, stories, their rise to fame, and just amazing storytelling overall.
In this unfiltered series, drinks are flowing, jokes are rolling. So tune in, take a seat at the table, and join the conversation with Drink Champ in the Interval Present Podcast Network.
Tap in wherever you get your podcast.
Listen to Drink Champ, they're my boys.
You know the vibes. So Us, who you got tonight for the fight?
Which fight? You know, there's the UFC and then there's you know the boxing fights.
Oh, boxing.
Boxing. I actually kind of wanted to go to those fights, but it's initially I was going with Davis heavy, but that weight situation, Fiasco, it's you know, that's the first big battle before the actual. But that's one of the most serious battles, because by the time you get in there, that part is having fun. You know, the work has been put in. So when you miss weight, it kind of does that, you know, allude to, hey, the preparation for the fight. Was the preparation good enough? Were you on top of your P's and Q's just to make sure that you made it to the fight and everything was, you know, was well set in there? Because if you miss weight at a fight of this magnitude, I mean, what does that say? You know, but you know, I like both guys, I really do. But I think Tank has been more active. I think Tank is in his flow now. You know,
he fought tougher competition.
Tougher competition, and he was able to go out there. And even when in the Barrios fight, you know, that was a true tell of him. Not just Barrios. You can look at those fights before the Barrios. You can look at the Gamboa fight. He had to go find those knockouts. And the Barrios, he really had to find it, because Barrios was a big guy and he was a tough guy.
And the guy Cruz was big.
Yeah, Cruz was big and
gave him a good fight.
He gave him a good fight, and I believe he hurt his hand in that fight too.
Well, he was definitely not used to fighting guys smaller than him or his size.
Yeah. But you know, Tank, I think, is a bigger dog, to where Ryan's kind of taking a lot of time off, which, you know, for some fighters that does help. Because then you get to heal and recover and love the sport, love the training, love the process. But I just think at a fighter like Tank, I think he's going to be able to pull it out, because I think he's just a little bit more battle tested.
I agree.
Yeah. But if I having to pick, put me on the spot, I'm gonna go with Tank. But you know, it was a breakdown of both of the fighters, and kind of, you know, Tank is a surgeon with that left hand, how he finds you. He's good with that right hand too, but, you know, there was a stat that kind of broke down watching the tape. Tank does drop his right hand, and Ryan Garcia's punches that left hook. So it's who can get there the fastest and most effective, and it's clean. And I honestly, I love Garcia, but I don't know if he's a great enough boxer, pure boxer, to box Tank for 12 rounds and win the fight.
We're gonna see, man.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
very interesting.
It is very interesting, and both great fighters. But like you said, I agree with Tank just being battle tested, and his adjustments during the matches, insane.
It is. Insane. And, you know, and not to be completely biased here towards Tank, Garcia does he can make adjustments as well, because you saw him in the Luke fight. Luke Campbell, he gets dropped, but he was able to adjust, find that body, and finish the fight. So, you know, kudos to both guys. And just kudos to, I think you started this situation. You had Ryan on the show, and then and then you instigate that, didn't you call him on FaceTime to get that going? And kudos to you for being able to, for these guys to be able to come together and give the people the fight that they want. Because
they have to.
You know, that's the big thing with boxing. You got all these different characters now, all these different fighters, amazing fighters.
Fighting,
but they won't fight each other.
They have to fight Errol Smith. Yeah.
Errol Spence. I think that will happen, because I do know Errol Spence, and I know Errol is not afraid of anybody. I know he's not afraid. That Errol Spence is a certified dog. I do know him in his camp.
But you have to beat him.
That's true. And I love Crawford. I went to school in Nebraska, and so, you know, hearing a bit about, I never actually met Terrence, but I've heard a lot about him. You know, we have similar people in similar circles, so you know, I like him as well. I think he's a dog, and that fight right there. I don't care if it's $150. I'm paying for that. If I'm not there live, I'm paying for that fight.
For sure. Well, let's get it back to
talk about. But the problem with that fight is he wanted money, but he couldn't sell 5,000 tickets. You gotta be a ticket seller. That's why Conor McGregor was so well.
Wow.
He's a ticket seller. See, that's what the problem is. I don't think they could get 5,000 seats.
That's crazy.
You're right, but Mike, don't you also think that it's a dance partner as well? Absolutely. You can be as dominant as you want to be, but if you don't have the right dance partner,
Yes.
You know, people won't want to watch, and I think this is it for him. This is that dance partner that
I agree.
that gets him to that level to where it's everybody knows who Errol Spence is.
Come down to Ennis boots and somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that. You know, I went through a similar situation to where, yeah, I would dominate guys and win and win and win, but it's, you know, guys, this and that. But then you get the right dance partner, which for me was Kobe Covington.
Yes.
You get that right dance partner.
He's the right dance partner for anybody.
He is.
Everybody wants to see him win. Everybody wants to see him get his ass kicked.
Exactly. And there was just so much built up in that fight to where as soon as the fight was over, and that I took more, it was just something about that fight to where there's certain fights you go into, you want to be pretty and dominate and get out as quick and easy as you can. And then there's some fights where you just want to fight. And that fight, I was just like, we're both high-level wrestlers. We could have wrestled and tried to see we just made a mental agreement with one another. We looked at each other, our spirits just made that mental agreement. We're not wrestling tonight. Let's go. And I left that fight, I was swollen, I was bruised up, and I'm walking through, I believe I was at the Aria, and I couldn't walk through the casino without people, and it was just, you saw it instantly what that dance partner brought out of you in that fight. And so I do believe, I think these guys, these boxers, you know, I think Errol and Terrence, they both need each other. You know, I think Ryan and Gervonta need each other. And of course, all these fights now starting to pop up. Lomachenko is fighting Devin Haney. You know, that's another amazing fight.
New guy. Was it Keyshawn?
Which one?
Davis Keyshawn, this new guy. He's 140 pounds. He's from Virginia. He's a bad.
Yeah.
Keyshawn
Davis. Hey, look him up, Keyshawn Davis.
From the ones that guys and around that weight, I know there's Ennis. What weight is Ennis?
47.
Yeah,
47. Oh, he's a welterweight too.
That's him right there.
Ooh, where he train at?
He trains.
Is it DC with those boys?
No, he's with Shakur Stevenson crew, I think.
Okay.
No, he's down with Crawford, Bud Crawford.
Oh yeah.
He's down with Crawford too.
Yeah. Okay. No, I thought he was.
Ooh, there you go right here.
Oh yeah.
He's a young guy.
Nice combinations.
He's quick.
Good. Yeah. Ooh.
My man Pernell Whitaker.
Yeah. Good attacks, body, head.
He's a harder puncher.
And oof.
You gotta put them together.
Yeah.
Ooh, see, I get into the side of the guy movement. See his movement.
Yeah.
He's just a little kid.
How old is he?
21.
Wait, 20. I have to see who his trainer is, but you know, I'm a fan of the sport of boxing.
He's down with Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
And you know something about fighting? There's some people that can fight in the UFC and boxing great, but they're not street fighters.
Nah.
Not good street fighters at all.
Really?
Yeah, but in the ring they kick anybody. They're great champion.
Yeah, you know what?
Is that true?
That's the crazy thing is, it's just something about that because it's a competition at the end of the day, and so it's something about knowing that it's a competition. There's an end goal. There's a time limit. This is going to be stopped at a certain point to where this
nigga might pull something out of the pocket. Shit don't go right. Shit is coming out.
Yeah, for sure. Some people thrive in that, but when you in the street fight, there's that level of uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen.
Then someone's gonna come behind you.
Yeah, somebody come behind you. And,
for sure.
For
sure.
Oh, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He's telling the referee to come in.
Ooh, so how'd you get started? How'd you get into MMA?
I got into MMA's. I was in college. Actually, when I went to college, my freshman year was the first time I saw the sport of mixed martial arts on television. I was actually, on my fall break, I went up to Fort Dodge, Iowa to visit my friend at the time, John Jones, who was a freshman in school there. So I go to visit him, and while we're there, we get invited to this house party by a friend of the team to come and watch fights. I was just like, all right, let's go. I'm just going where my friend's going. So we go to the house party to watch fights, and it's cage fighting, and I believe it was like maybe Randy Couture fighting somebody, And I just remember watching it, and I'm there like, oh, these dudes is crazy. They punching, kicking, and elbowing each other. It's crazy. I can't do it. We're not gonna do that. And the guy goes, yo, y'all should do this. Me and John, and I think we looked at each other like, man, we ain't doing that shit. Nah, no way in hell. And so that was the first time we ever saw a fight. And then 2 years later, I transferred schools. I was in Nebraska. And then my teammate, Joe Ellenberger, him and his brother, Jake Ellenberger, who actually lived in Vegas, they were both doing MMA. So during the off-season, during the summers, they would fight. Amateur, of course, because they couldn't get paid back then. So they would fight in this promotion called VFC. And I went and watched them fight. I was just, in my head, I was always like, these dudes is crazy for doing this. I would never do that. And then in 2010, I finished up and I was training at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. And one day we get a call, a friend of mine, Jake Fisher, he was a wrestler as well. He gets a call to bring a couple of wrestlers down to Denver to help this fighter train. And the fighter was King Mo Lawal. And I have known Mo from the wrestling rings. So I'm like, all right, I'll ride with you. So we go to Denver and we're in the locker room changing to go out there and work out. And one of the first times I've ever been starstruck. And so we're in the locker room, we're changing, and I turn, and they come in the locker room, and I turn around, and it's Rashad Evans. And this is right after the Ultimate Fighter, after Rashad had just fought Rampage, that highly anticipated fight. And so Rashad's like the biggest thing walking right now. So I turn around and he walks in. I'm like, oh shit, that's Rashad Evans. And I just remember the feeling that I felt on the inside. I was just like, oh, that's Rashad Evans. That's who we're gonna train with? All right then. So it was just something about that day for me. We get done, we're training, me and him are training, and I was impressed by how good his wrestling was. But then we finished up and we sat there on the mat and just talked, just had a fellowship, and just, I couldn't believe how cool Rashad was. You know, it blew my mind that a superstar of this magnitude was so cool and so down to earth. He talked to me and he asked me, how's wrestling going? And I'm just like, yeah, I'm working hard, but we ain't making shit. I ain't getting paid. You know, you go to this tough tournament all the way to India, you battle a bunch of guys, and you might get $2,000 if you win the tournament.
Wow.
And then I would go help these MMA fighters and watch them go out and perform, get fight of the night, get $75,000 bonus. I'm like, yo, I'm in the wrong sport.
Wow.
And so at that point, it put something in my mind that I needed to switch. And at the time, I was dating a girl who was a boxer. And she'd also come to the OTC, Olympic Training Center, and train for camps. And then there was one camp going on at the time. And the first time I really ever had a boxing coach, you know, work with me, I went up to a big shout out to Barry Hunter over there at in DC Headbangers. And I just walked up to him after my wrestling practice and I said, hey, because they trained right after wrestling practice in their gym. And I walked up and I said, hey, coach, I'm thinking about, you know, fighting. You know, can I come in and get a little work with you? And he was just like, sure. He was willing to dedicate some of his time after their practices. I believe he was one of the national team coaches at the time. And just dedicate time for me to just show me drills and just work with me. And we would do that. We would get that done, you know, a little bit. And we'd work. And so in my head, I was like, all right, I'm gonna be done with wrestling after this year. I'm gonna go out, train 4 years. I'm coming back, I'll be the Olympian in the 4 years. It didn't dawn on me that there's dudes that are barely making the team that have been training for 20 years to make the Olympic team.
Jeez.
I was just like, I'm gonna go out 3 years. I'm coming back here. I'll be the world team member, the Olympic team member. And then I was just like, wait, I'm gonna throw away this skill that I've just spent 14 to 20 years building in wrestling? No, that don't make sense. How can I combine them both? And I was just like, MMA was just the option, the smart option. And I went into it and I never looked back.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story, man.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome the humility that you talk about of like having those guys around you that were able to just be able to guide you and actually help you train and stuff like that. That is awesome, man.
Yeah, I think every step of the way I've been blessed to just be around, you know, like, yeah, a guy can have all the talent in the world, but I've just been blessed around to be the right coach at the right time that I was able to just trust in and believe in.
That could bring the best out
Yeah,
of you.
For me, it was just like, okay, coach said, that's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing. I never said, okay, nah, coach, I don't really want to do that today. It was just, oh, that's what we're doing. All right, let's do it. And I just trusted that by doing these things and then me doing my own personal work that I would get to that destination. And I always got there, or I was right there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you know, I've always been just blessed and thankful that I was able to meet and be around some of the coaches at every level that I've been at.
It was ordained by God for that time. Because I said the same thing to myself. How did I meet this guy or this person to get me in this situation?
Yeah, no, I truly believe it's you know, it's kind of written. I mean, it's a crazy coincidence to just think that somehow you connect with all the people you connect with to end up in the situation that you're at. So you being, you know, in the league to end up where you're at. For you to connect with everyone, it's crazy to think that's just a coincidence.
There's no coincidence.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I just think we're all blessed and we all have a journey that's been written for us.
For sure, I agree. And speaking of journey, so what's next for you, Us? What's next?
Oh man, it's I'm kind of in I want to say weird. I don't want to say weird, but it's a little unfamiliar territory for me.
Explain that.
Because you know, I got into the sport and it was just like, I'm gonna be the champion. That's it.
And you did it.
I was like, I'm gonna be the champion. That was it. There wasn't a plan B, C, D, or E. No, it was just, I'm gonna be the champion one day. So it's every day, whether it's every run, whether it's every extra swim, and it's leading towards that. That was always it for me. And then I got there. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. Then it grew more. And I'm into different things now. I'm doing this show, I'm doing that show, I'm doing this a movie, and it just, you know, it grew and grew to where it was. And I remember asking my coaches before I ever became champion. I said, does these fights get easier once you become champion? You get to the top. Because I remember how I felt. You know, you backstage and you know you got an hour left. You know, you got to get up, you got to start warming up, and you got to put your shorts, you got to put these wraps on, and your stomach, you can't consume no food.
Yeah,
you know?
never eat.
My favorite part of the fight was getting ready in the dressing room, getting my hands wrapped, and thinking about what's gonna happen.
It's something about that moment. It's just, you're there.
It's the moment of truth.
Yeah, yeah, you're there, and every time I'm sleepy. They're rapping me, and I'm nodding off, I'm falling asleep. But this is your body, like, knowing what's about to happen, and it's its defense mechanism. It's putting you in a state of
fight or flight.
Know, yeah, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. And then you're hitting pads, and you feel slow. It's like everything's coming slow. You feel slow, but it's like a cat being cornered, and it's the most dangerous. It's at its most dangerous state when it's being cornered. But you don't. You think you're going through, like you were saying earlier, you have that thought of pressure, and you feel like you're in that moment. And so that right there, being in the back and dealing with all of that, I asked him, does that get easier? Does it get better? And he's like, no. It gets worse because it gets heavier and heavier.
Yeah.
Each fight, it brings up
Listen, you're just as nervous your first fight as you are, your last fight as you are in your first fight.
It don't matter. It's crazy. And like, obviously, I'm not a fighter. I play football. It's the same exact way. Like going there, I'm always the first one in the locker room. I always try to get there super early. Pads. I can't eat nothing.
No.
Before the day of the game, I can't eat nothing, bro. I only have like, maybe if it's a day game, maybe.
I can't sleep the day before.
I can't sleep. Can't eat. And same thing, everything's just in slow motion. Just like thinking, processing your movement, thinking about the plays, thinking about your movements, thinking about what you got to do, what you got to accomplish.
Yeah, you just got to hope that your preparation is going to just carry you through, because it's almost like you're an autopilot at that point. Have you trained your body and your mind enough to be able to just withstand and handle what's going on in the midst of chaos?
You ever knock out somebody, do a punch, and you thought you missed him, and he's out cold?
Oh yeah,
I thought I missed this guy. He's laying out cold. I saw the film. This guy.
You caused almost a couple fights in my house growing up. My dad would get the pay-per-views, and I distinctively remember there was one, and we were just talking about it back there in the green room. My dad, the fight's about to start, and my dad's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go." I think he went to go get a beer in the garage. He has his friends all in the living room, and my dad goes in the garage, and he comes back. Fight's over. My dad. So we gonna see you fight in here tonight. We gonna see. That's wicked. The fight was over, and I remember distinctively. There was a time people were mad at you.
Yeah,
people were mad at you because the fights didn't last long.
Let me tell you something that's really interesting. When I lost my fight to Buster Douglas, I started getting paid more because now was a chance that I could be beaten. I was getting paid more money because people couldn't bet on me.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility you get beat. Hey, people could bet on you now.
Yeah, that's you. I feel that I'm kind of in this, like I say, this weird space to where it's like it was almost like more people were upset. People were more upset that I lost than I was. People were devastated. I get messages all the time. No, you're gonna get this back. You're gonna get that. And I'm fully aware, and I fully am aware that I know that I am the best welterweight for sure in the division. I know that. But it's I'm just in a place where I'm loving the sport again. I'm falling in love with the sport again. I've been training now, and I just feel stronger. I'm doing certain things, and I'm liking that process again. When I look back on my journey to becoming champion and defending over and over and over, it was the journey. I remember just in my white Nissan Maxima, tinted out, just me and my daughter. She's in the car seat in the back. We drive to the gym, get done. We'll go to Babies R Us, hang out for an hour. I knew what song to play in the car, knock her out, she sleep, we get home, put her in bed. That was my routine, that was my structure, and I was in love with that process. But then you get to the top and it's like, no, you gotta go here for this interview. You gotta go to LA for that. You gotta go do this show. You gotta do that. And now I've been going 3 weeks, I haven't even spent time with my daughter.
I tell that to my wife all the time. I said, baby, how you gonna tell me I'm a good father and I can't even spend time with my kids? I gotta go to this part of the world and work. I gotta go here and work. I gotta go to here and work. And you gonna call me a good father because I'm a good provider. A good father spends time with his kids.
Yeah, but I think it's different perspective though. For her, part of you doing your job that she agreed to in you guys' union or you guys' bond is you helping to provide for us.
Exactly, but I want to be around my kids.
And your perspective.
I had other kids. I didn't have a chance to be around them as much because of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to hang out with my kids as much.
I'm the same way. I love hanging out with my daughter, and even now she's about to be 9, and she's funny, she's smart, she makes fun of me. I make fun of her, and it's something about her. I'm just kind of in this state to where I'm doing a lot to try to make her as happy as possible. And the same for my parents as well. I like to make them as happy as possible. And I don't know, sometimes they might feel like, I'm not as aware or as present, but I'm there. And
I'm very present too in this.
Yeah, I'm there, and I just want to see them. I just want to see them happy. Yeah, my daughter's she's playing tennis now. And
my daughter too, she's a tennis player.
Yeah, they're down there in Florida, some of the best tennis. And so she's kind of in that. It's crazy as a father. She's in that state to where she wants to compete, but she's not competitive spirit yet. With me, she won't let me walk by her and just bump her. I can't walk by her and accidentally bump her. She has to get the last hit.
Oh, my daughter's the same. We gotta fight me.
Yeah.
Fight her for. I said, you gonna have problems getting a man. When a married man wants to fight constantly.
Yeah, she's always like that. She won't let me just get the last hit in. But I do, so I know it's in there.
Yeah, it's in there.
But it's just, I'm not willing to be, I don't want to be that dad to where I'm screaming and yelling at her. I don't want to, I've seen too many.
That's how me, I don't want to go through what I went through. Come on, you're getting your ass getting fat, get in shape.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. So I'm loving the process right now, and I'm loving falling in love with the sport again to where, for me it's, I might just want to pop out in the next couple months and beat somebody up again because I'm really starting to feel that, But it's at my own terms now.
I wish I was fighting because I didn't understand. When I was fighting, it was all ego. I would understand fighting, taking care of your money, taking care of your family, high yield accounts and stuff like that. That's what I should have been thinking when I was a child.
Yeah, but you don't. That's the thing is, if you're not educated on that aspect at that time, and wrestling with that myself right now is, being able to pick you want to pick the right management. Who can help me with some of the things that I don't know? Who can educate me with those things that I don't know that's not going to take advantage of me?
It's not about having a manager now. It's about having a trainer and a lawyer. It's all about the lawyer now. He's your manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's finding someone that's going to look out for you.
Look out for you, genuinely.
But nobody's going to ever look out for you. You're going to have to look out for you. That's never going to happen. You're not going to find somebody to look out for you.
True.
The way you need to be looked out for.
Find a partner, your wife.
Well, that's true,
for the
too.
most part. Yeah.
That's true, too. But still, the both of you still have to fight the evils in this world. It's trying to separate your guys from your money.
Yeah, that's a question that I wanted to ask you as well. Is when you weren't champion anymore, what was the biggest difference? Were you happier as the champion, or did it pull you into a state where you were happier not being a champion anymore?
I was happier being alone with myself and being with me instead of just being caught up in the chaos of me. So only besides like I'm talking about for my whole career, from fighting and stuff, I never really worried about how people was going to treat me, because no matter whatever situation I was into, I was always Mike. I always came out with my head up. I didn't hide from nobody. I'm just always Mike. If I got $1 billion, I'm Mike. And if I got $2, I'm Mike. And so being that, I don't care about anything. I worry about anything. Because that's who I am. With money or without money, I'm Mike.
Yeah, I can attest to that, because after the fight where I lost the title, it was because I did Rogan the week after, and it was almost like a weird feeling. People couldn't believe that I wasn't hiding, that I wasn't home crying, or that I wasn't sad or crying about it. Of course, I was disappointed that I didn't win, because I put the work in to get the result of being victorious. Of course, a piece of me was disappointed, but it was a competition. I whooped a ton of dudes, and then just because I wasn't victorious in that moment, it was like everyone was like, they couldn't believe it. Oh no, he's faking it. He's faking it. Why is he not crying? Why is he not down? Because he was winning that whole fight, and then that moment it happened. I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna cry about it.
Most people who are not does not have the competitive spirit, they don't believe if they lose everything. Like for me, myself, I'm not wishing bad stuff for me. If I lost everything tomorrow, I'll get it back again. Because I had it 4 or 5 times before. I've been broken rich more than anybody I know. But it's all about not giving up.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm living that right now, because a piece of me, I wake up some days, I'm like, oh, I'm fully capable of just whooping the 2-3 dudes I got to whoop and get that belt back. I'm fully capable of that. And, but I like this state where I'm loving, training, loving getting to spend time with my daughter again. And, being able to just train freely. Train freely. When you're there and you're the champion, it's like everything you do, it's like it's under a microscope. You go in and a training partner is getting the best of you. One day they're in the gym talk, oh, he ain't got it no more. He ain't got it. This dude's getting him. That dude's getting him. That dude's getting him. Yeah. Now I'm training freely. If this dude gets the best of me, it's okay. I come back tomorrow and I'll put it on him. It's okay. I'm training freely, and I'm loving that aspect, because it allows me to mentally grow, as opposed to being stuck in the one place where it's, oh, you're the champion. You got to do everything perfect.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
You got to become seasoned professional before you can handle that pressure.
Yeah. I feel like there's beauty in the struggle, and also in the process, like you have to, it's just like life, the ebbs and flows of lives, right? Like up and down. And I think, honestly, you going through that is just going to build you up even bigger. And it's going to make your story even bigger, like your story even better and bigger. Like you have to go through that loss just to build back so you can come back even stronger. That's just how it is. That's how it is.
Adversity makes the weak weaker and the strong stronger.
I think I agree, and I think that was something that Floyd might have been missing a little bit, because I think he got into a state of, he was so perfect in as far as his style and what he did with his style, to where I feel like it was almost a turnoff for people, where people like, it's boring, to where almost like people were rooting for him to lose just to see how he would handle it and bounce back.
But listen, and this is what you realize: the bad guy always makes the most money in boxing. That's just the way it is, because people want to see the bad guy. Just like in Western, the bad guy is the guy. Without the bad guy, there's no good guy.
Absolutely.
You know, it has to be a bad guy. And sometimes the bad guy, he plays his role better than the good guy. The bad guy's never forgotten, even though he loses in the end.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, because I do think it takes a lot of courage to be the bad guy.
Absolutely.
Because everybody wants to be good.
But you got to be.
That's what you're supposed to be, because that's what's good. Everybody wants to resonate with good. But to be able to step out as the bad guy, I think that takes a lot of courage.
The good guys admire you, but they don't want to be like you.
Yeah.
But you don't realize sometimes in order to go where you got to go, you sometimes got to be the bad guy.
Yeah, and sometimes to go where you got to go, you have to be who you have to be, and sometimes that's the bad guy.
Yeah. No, it's, you know, I get to a point now where I'm just like, I'm just me. I'm just happy being me, happy in training, happy in being a father, happy in trying to be, you know, the best son that I can for my parents, and the best brother I can for my brothers and sister. So it's, you know, I'm just being in that state. I'm loving it. I'm just, you know, relishing all that comes with it. And, you know, if that's, you know, I get to get that opportunity again to be the champion, of course. Now I feel like it'll be a different feeling this time, because, you know, now you've been up, you felt all of that, and you've been down.
I mean, when I came out of prison and I won the title back, it felt like a form of revenge for some reason. You know, it felt like revenge.
Was it one of those moments where you felt like, I showed you, I told y'all.
I came back from prison 3 years and I still kicked your fucking ass and got the belt.
Yeah, no, I do understand that piece of it.
And I'm one of those guys, I show off, I have my belt, got money, I show it, look at that belt, and then it's beautiful around my waist.
Did you really shower with that belt?
Yes. I've showered with it before, yeah.
No, I think I saw a picture of it, and I think early on in my career, I think when I saw Rashad Evans' belt, I saw his belt, and I was like, oh man, this is what we get. Okay, I'm gonna get it one day. And then I seen a picture of you with the belt in the shower, and I said, if I'm ever fortunate enough to win the belt, I'm taking a shower with that belt.
That's tough.
I never did it though.
You never did it?
It was so nice and shiny. I was like,
I can't do this, man. You probably thinking you had what? You probably thinking you had what the fuck was Mike doing?
There's no way I'm going to shower with this thing.
That's the way I am, man. If I got a belt, I wear it in the shower, I can attach myself with it.
Yeah.
If I get a new house or property, I piss on it for good luck. It's mine.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Marking like your territory.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's, you know, there's a few people on this, and me and my dad talk about it. There's a few people, I think, on planet Earth that I think we're just blessed to see, blessed to be around. You know, there's just those iconic figures, and you represent that for us, Uncle Mike. You represent that for us, and it's. And I feel like this because, you know, everybody walks around and they say, oh, yeah, you're great, you're great, you're great. And in your head, you might feel a different way. But, you know, when we truly say that, we mean that because of what you represent for us and what you may not know it, what you might have, you being you, helped someone overcome at some point in their life. So that's why so many people might walk up and say that, because it's true, what you represent and you are. And I mean, I don't think it's close. I think you're the most recognizable face on the planet. Because I think it's little kids in Nepal that don't and never watch your fight come out. Mike Tyson, you know, they know the face. So, you know, we're grateful. I'm thankful to be able to do this with you, be around and you guys, you know, I'm just blessed because, like I said, you know, being in my daddy's house and watching your fights and
what was it like being raised in Nigeria?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great because this is one thing that, and I think in this country we're so hyper-focused about, is we forget that kids are only able to comprehend their circumstance in this situation. It doesn't matter if they ain't got Gucci shoes on. They have something on their feet. They're happy with that. Or even if they don't have anything on their feet, they're happy. Kids are always still gonna play and smile and laugh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from people in Africa. They don't expect anything. That's why they're always happy. People over here, we expect a new pair of Pumas. We expect everything without even being able to pay for it. We expect everything.
No humility.
That's the kind we're always miserable.
Yeah, that's why we.
I think we're kind of forced and marketed that way to where it's it's gonna make you happy. If you don't have that, you're not gonna be happy. If you don't have that, you're not gonna be happy. So where growing up, it was just, I remember when we did get a new pair of shoes from my father, because my father was the first to immigrate here, and sending us new pair of shoes. We didn't know if they were Payless shoes. We didn't care. They were shoes. Oh, look at the laces on them, all white. We didn't care.
Yeah.
We were happy and we loved it. And from what I could remember and comprehend, we had a good time. That's what we were born into, and we enjoyed that. And then we come to where we immigrate here, and we were living in a 1-bedroom apartment in Arlington, Texas. 1 bedroom. It's mom, dad, and 3 boys. 1-bedroom apartment. We still found joy in that. To where we immigrated, now we got a 2-2. We still found joy in that. To when my dad bosses up and we buy a house. Now we got I believe a 4-bedroom house, to where now one brother can have his own room and we can have our own room, and we were still happy in that. So it's being raised there, being raised here. I think it's about your surrounding, your environment, your family. That's what the true happiness lies on. It's not necessarily where you
Very
are.
interesting you say that, because at one time when I lost all my goodies, me and my wife were staying at this little kind of creepy apartment in town, 2-bedroom, 3-bedrooms, and it was small, so we always, we whisper, "Yeah, baby, can you please kind of forget that?" And then next day we get out of that little house, we in a bigger house now. Hey, baby, get that shit, Milan, get up, Doctor. It goes, "Hey, baby, yeah, can you get that?"
It's good, yeah.
And then the house gets bigger, you get more money. Hey, man, get that shit down here. You gotta scream through the house.
I can't hear you. What'd you say?
What? Get over here. Come here. I'm in the shower.
Yeah, I just think that it's based on it becomes where it's based on your environment and your surrounding and the people around you that truly make you happy. So yeah, whether being raised there, raised here, I was still happy. I had good parents, good brothers and sisters, and that was it for me.
Texas especially Dallas, has a big African community.
Yes. Dallas, Houston, Atlanta,
Big.
huge community. And I always thought that was funny, but it's about familiarity. So when a family's immigrating to a certain space, they want to be
find out where their
close.
people are.
Where their people are. They want to be close to their communities, to where it's easy to assimilate, to where you kind of speak each other's language, you understand each other, how you live, how you eat, how you survive. And so when I was young, I didn't understand that. I was like, why is so many Africans in the same spot? Why don't they spread out? The U.S. is big. Spread out.
Strength is together.
Yeah, strengths together.
Yeah.
Strength is not good if all of us is here, and then one of us up there with all the big time people.
Yeah.
What's the purpose of him being up there if he's not going to help us?
No, yeah, it was the same thing for me, because my parents are both from Haiti. So I'm first generation. So they all moved. A lot of Haitians in Jersey.
Yeah,
a lot of Haitians
Florida.
in Jersey, New York, Florida, New York. Yeah, like heavy.
I have quite a few Haitian friends, but you don't know they're Haitian until you go over their house.
wait, what does that mean? We're talking about. What is that?
But you don't know. They don't talk with an accent. They go like,
some do.
They talk in an accent. You're like, what the?
Yeah, they speak French Creole.
What the fuck?
That's Creole, Mike.
Yeah,
That's
I'm like,
Creole.
what the
Sac
fuck?
passé.
Yeah, we mama.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Hey, yo, what is going on? I thought it's like, get out. I thought this nigga brought me here and he's gonna kill me and eat me. I ain't been talking different languages. What the fuck?
And it was one time I went to a barbershop down there in South Florida.
Okay.
And I'm in the barbershop, and I have some Haitian friend. Shout out to my boy John Lewis and Ron
Haitian
Gucci.
told me.
and Ron Gucci. So I'm there and I'm watching them in the barbershop. It's all Haitians and you know, and I'm watching them, and they stand the way that, and I'm Nigerian, and I'm Nigerian, and I'm watching them. They stand just the way we stand. They're as aggressive with the deliverance or the tone, the way we are. The mannerisms is the same. And I'm like, this is Nigerians. This is Ghanaians. This is Africans right here.
Well, if you think about Haiti, So the island of Hispaniola in general, it was nothing but Taino people on there, right? Then they went to Africa, took people from Africa, brought them to the island.
Yeah.
And then, so now it's a mixture of the Tainos, the Africans, and then also, you know, Columbus is bringing the Spanish side. So now it's a mixture of that as well. So now it's just like a giant melting pot of just culture. Yeah. So yeah, you'll definitely see that. That's why Haitians come in all different colors. My mom is
White,
way,
blue eyes.
yeah. My mom is
Pride.
light, but I'm dark.
I seen that in Haiti. I seen that in Haiti too. You know, you think all Haitians are black.
Yeah.
All different. Yeah.
That African gene though is just
all
dominant.
over.
They get in there.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's in there. No, it's in there. No, it is in there and dominant.
Watch how they stand and how they talk, and I'm like, oh, these is Africans.
Yeah.
These is straight They're just, you know, they're just like Jamaicans. They're Africans. You know, so I loved it, and it was something that day. Once I started seeing them, I just felt a peace. I was just like, oh, I'm at home.
Yeah.
So you started the food. The food is totally different.
Food fire.
Food fire.
Totally
But we like the same. It's rice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Protein, chicken.
Some hot
plantains.
Some kind of hot ass sauce.
That shit will change your life, dog. I'm telling you.
Listen, so I'm trying to get this. You know, I'm in D.C. I'm trying to get this African girl. She just son having to get migrated to America.
Yeah.
But the African girl, she's young and beautiful, right? And I'm hitting on them. I'm trying to make this process, and I'm gonna say, well, this guy has no money, so let me offer her money or something, right? So I offer, let's go hang out. She said, okay, I'll hang out with you. If you eat this chicken soup, this what was it?
Goosey? Pepper soup or something like that. Yeah.
But when they brought it, I ate it, and it must have been 10 below zero, right? I started sweating in the house. In the house, I started sweating, and all of a sudden, my tongue started getting swole, and I in the freezer, like 20 below zero, I rolled up the window, I go, I never saw that person again.
So safe to say
The
you
water,
felt
and I drank water, and it made it hotter.
Nah,
I said, I never felt that experience in my life.
Yeah.
That's one piece of ass I never seen again. I never, and it was, oh, God. I thought they were trying to kill me, these Africans, man.
Nah, they're trying to put you on the culture, but Oos, we got some gear for you we want to give you.
This is a special package, and you're going to like this because we're in a new line of business. Open up, please open it up.
Thank you. Okay. Straight up, right away, the shirts. I always dig the shirts.
Oh, yeah. Dan Loomies, they're selling off the rack. I can't believe I'm going to be a wealthy guy off of fucking shirts.
Your face, man, iconic. He just told you your face.
Mike, that's the space that we want to be in. You did all the work in your early years.
Yeah.
You put that work in, so the later years, you just gotta chill, relax,
Yeah,
and
relax.
let it roll in so you can spend time with your kids, your family.
But that's what I tell my wife just want to hang out.
Oh, yeah. Boxing gloves. Can never have too many.
Tyson Pro.
Can never have too many of these.
Tyson Pro, this is my new line of glove wear.
Love it.
Gas.
Appreciate
Don't
it.
worry if you're training. Tell them niggas you're training with this shit.
Oh, we got mitts too. Okay. All right.
You have another set of gloves, make sure.
Next time my female friends, you know, she has a problem, we just put the
I
mitts
saw
on.
a
we
beautiful
go,
boxer girl. What was her name again? Alicia Bumgarner.
Bumgarner. Yeah, she just fought a friend. She fought a friend of mine. I believe her last fight, Michaela Mayer. So that was an incredible fight. I actually watched that. It was an all girls card, and that was Bumgarner versus Mayer and Clarissa Shields versus. Clarissa's a savage, straight beast, and the girl she fought too was amazing.
Yeah.
And I watched it. And I loved it. And females are actually doing They can box now. These girls can box.
They're doing their thing.
Yeah.
No, females is doing their thing.
Okay, we gotta go. I actually have to go. My brother is fighting in an hour and a half, and so I gotta
Good
go
luck.
be
Tell
there
him
for
good luck
him.
Yes,
from the
tell him good
Hotboxin
luck. Tell him
staff.
good luck.
Of course.
The crew on Hotboxing.
Yes.
And Blue Wire Studios.
Mike, you got to ask your question. You got to ask your.
This is a question I ask everyone, and we have tens of millions of people right there.
Yeah.
They want to know everything about you. How can they get in touch with you after this? I'm sorry, it's right here.
Okay.
Them
Yeah, you can get in touch with me.
Tell 'em.
On Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. What's those other the cool kids are using now?
TikTok.
TikTok. You know, at Usman 84 kg, USMAN 84 kg, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. So you know, if I don't respond to your message, well, guess what? It's just millions of messages in there. So you know, and hopefully I'll get to it one day.
And is there anything you want to tell the people that you want to tell the people?
I just you know, like I'm kind of in this phase where obviously as a fighter and trying to transition to give a opportunity to the other fighters coming into where I've started a promotion in Africa. It's an MMA promotion called the AKO.
Wow.
You know, so you can see that on Instagram at the AKO show. So you know,
Great
we're trying
fighters
to
in
yeah,
Africa.
we're trying to give them
Never get a
opportunities to get over here and actually show the world what Africa can do. So thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Uncle Mike, I gotta run.
All right, bro. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
man,
my
bro.
pleasure.